Welcome to this week's episode of the SAVVY Flipper Show. I am your host and business strategist, Clara Rose, and Larry Vanderhoof, our resident expert and construction manager, is not here with us today, but he wanted me to remind you that if you're truly going to be a SAVVY Flipper, you need to be on top of your property inspections, the do-it-yourself kind. You need to be estimating accurately for renovations, and you need to be on top of your project management, because if you're not flipping by the numbers, you are leaving money on the table. Okay, I have something special for you today. Larry's not here. Clearly, this is not Larry. This is my friend and mentor, Tresa Todd-Lugten, and she is here today to talk with us about real estate investing. Surprise, surprise. So while we cover every week on the show, we talk about the three things we always talk about: property inspections, estimating for renovations, and project management. Those are the places you can get yourself either in a lot of trouble or you can make some good money. But what we don't teach is the gold that Tresa does teach in her course, Without Fear of Her Future. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
We are super excited to have you here today. Larry's very excited because he didn't have to be here.
Hey, it's hard to step in for Larry.
It's right.
I'm excited.
So thank you so much for coming and being on the show. Tell us about your course and about, tell us all about what you do.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I am a real estate investor.
Right.
So I flip houses, I wholesale properties, I have rentals and short-term rentals, so, owner financing, all of every form of investing. But a couple of years ago, I started the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, and that is where I teach women to invest in real estate, when I learned that 97% of investors were men. And so I thought, hey, ladies need to know that they can invest in real estate. And
As well. Absolutely.
Yes.
And of course, each week we're talking with just new real estate investors. That includes men as well. But you focus on the ladies specifically.
Yes.
Because your experience was all about it changing your life. And you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yes.
Right.
That's exactly right. My sons are all three real estate investors, and they got me in the business. I had been in the medical field for 25 years, and they talked me into walking away from that, and they mentored me and taught me all about investing. And so as I was about 18 months into it, and I kept thinking, where are all the women? I would go to all the networks, and it was just men and a few women scattered throughout. And I had been a single mom. I knew what it was like to struggle financially, and I never knew prior to this that an average girl could become a real estate investor. I thought that you had to have a lot of money, and I had no idea that you could get into this using what we call other people's money. OPM, other people's money. And so once I learned that, I wanted other women to know, hey, I knew life living paycheck to paycheck and barely making it, and not knowing how I would ever really retire. And so I started the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, and it has grown to be the largest women's real estate investing network in the nation. I'm still so crazy, just can't believe it. So thankful, so thankful.
But it really all started with this small group of women that you started to educate.
Yes.
Right? So it's about that piece and Tresa calls it specialized knowledge, but it's about that piece that as a new investor that you need, right? It's not enough to have a general idea of how to renovate. You need this specialized knowledge if you're going to really keep more money in your pocket, which we preach every week. Keep more money in your pocket.
That's exactly right. Do you know the average investor does one deal, and that's because they don't have the specialized knowledge. So they've watched some, do-it-yourself on TV.
Yep.
And everybody wants to put a little shiplap on something and go flip it, and they don't.
Subway tile.
Exactly.
That's right.
And so they watch it on TV. It looks so easy, but if you don't know the numbers that they're not really teaching you, then you can end up either working really hard and making very little money or even losing money.
Yeah.
And so, and most of us can't afford to do that. So
Right.
if you are flipping by the numbers, if you know your numbers,
Yep.
then you can pretty much guarantee a profit every single time.
Right. Or you don't do the deal.
Exactly.
Right?
Walking away from the deal. Walking away.
Don't do it if the numbers don't work.
Yes.
And the place that you learn about those numbers is in an educational setting. And that's exactly what Without Fear of Her Future offers the ladies. And then Flipping by the Numbers, our course offers
Yes.
as well. It's a different piece.
Yes.
For sure.
but
You need them both.
You need them both.
Right?
Absolutely.
You need all of the stuff that she has to say about how to do this properly. And then you need all the stuff that Larry's teaching you about sticking with the numbers.
Yep.
If it's not a deal,
Yeah.
it's not a deal.
Yeah.
Right? Move on.
That's exactly right.
Well,
go to the next deal that
Yes.
will be a deal. So
yes.
yeah.
So we see this all the time, and we actually have people reach out to us and say, we did a deal, it took us 6 months, and we made $10,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that was not a deal.
That's right.
That was not a deal. 6 months of your life, that's nights and weekends, and right, because they're doing it wrong.
That's exactly right.
Right? Bless your heart, you did it wrong.
Yes.
That's
yes,
all that was.
That's right. Get the specialized knowledge, get the mentoring, find someone
Yeah.
that can teach you exactly what Larry's teaching you about the numbers.
Yeah, the piece is so
And
important.
then, find out how you purchase these properties at the right
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Because successful investors are not going on the MLS and,
Right.
and finding a deal. You have to go out there and find something off market, how to shop it, how to talk
Yeah.
to.
So we're working on her new book together.
Yes.
And we're super excited that it's coming out in February, but there's something in the book that I want her to share with you. And it's called 57 Doors.
Oh my gosh.
Share
yes.
57 Doors with us.
Yes. So whenever I started, so I always like to back this up by saying you never have to knock on a door if that's not for you. But whenever I first got started, there's different ways to find these properties and mailers and all these things, lots of different ways. Facebook ads, SEO, all the things. But for whatever reason, I decided that I was going to go door knocking. And so I knocked on 57 doors before I got my first deal.
That's a lot of
That's
doors.
a lot of doors. And I had left my city, my job, my 25-year career. I had walked all my friends. I'd walked away. I lived in Tyler, Texas. I moved to Dallas, Texas, so I could be near my sons because they were teaching me. So I literally had everything. I had to be successful because I had left everything behind. And so after even 27 doors, Clara, I was like, oh my gosh.
What have I done?
I made the biggest mistake of my life. I'm like, oh, I got to get my old job back.
Lost
I
my
got
mind.
to, all the things. And then 37 doors. And then 47 doors. I just remember thinking, what a failure and how embarrassed I was and thinking, I've ruined my life. But I had no choice but to keep going. And I kept going and going. And on the 57th door, I got my first deal. I helped this precious family that were facing foreclosure. They were going to lose their house in less than 13 days. And I was able to put $11,000 in their pocket to help them to get a fresh start. This deal ended up profiting me $20,000. And it was just the most amazing experience. And I was like, okay, it was worth all 57 doors.
Right.
And then I just kept doing it. And I knew by then it was a numbers game.
Right.
There's people out there that, we're not taking advantage of somebody that's in a crisis. What we're doing is we're creating a win-win for them.
Right.
If you lose a house to foreclosure, which there's going to be a lot of people
Right.
losing these houses to foreclosures
Right.
here.
Because July 31st, the moratorium went away,
It
right?
lifted,
So now
yes.
anybody
Yes.
can foreclose on anybody at this
And if
point,
they
so.
lose their home, they get absolutely nothing. They lose
Yeah.
all their equity. They are literally out.
Yeah.
And so, but as an investor, if I can go in and purchase their home, I'm able to put cash in their pocket and help them to get a fresh start.
Right.
But I'm also getting a piece of property that at a price that I can flip it, or I can wholesale it, or I can
And make
turn it
money.
into a rental
Right.
and make a really large profit. So it's really creating a win-win for everyone.
Right.
And so it's exciting.
It is exciting.
And I love teaching women the details of how to do this.
Which makes perfect sense. That's what you do. Not only in the course, but in the mentorship piece, but in the Facebook group, the
Yes.
ongoing, once you're a part of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network, then you have just this ongoing forever support. Somebody who, if you're stuck or you need answers, a place where you can go and say, here's what I have going on. Help.
Yes. I got this deal. Now what do I do?
Now what do I do?
What's the next step?
Right?
Yeah.
So I find I'm in there all the time, sometimes answering other people's questions because I'm farther along in the process than
That's
they
the
are.
beauty of that. Yes.
That's
Is
the
the network
power.
is so amazing. They're so encouraging. It's just I've never been a part of anything quite like it, and I'm just so humbled and excited about the whole thing.
I'm definitely proud to be a part of it. Now, it's interesting because my husband and I do this together, right?
Yeah.
So we're a husband and wife team, but he kind of sits on the sidelines for the REIN stuff.
Yes.
Because it really is that one place that women can come together and be supportive of each other and benefit each other without some of the ugly that I see in a lot of groups.
I know.
Where the
It
people
is.
are
Yes.
attacking each other and saying horrible things. And
they're partnering together, inspiring one another, helping one another. And, a lot of people think they've got to go out and find private money and all that, but it's right there in the network. So, Mrs. Jones is funding all of Mrs. Smith's deals and back and forth. So
this is some of that specialized knowledge that she's teaching you in the mentorship program and in the course is how to do that.
Yes.
Right? Because you need to know how that's done. Then it's a natural, because we're all trained in the same way. It's a natural process.
Yes.
Say, here's the deal that I have. Here's the numbers. So we're saying, yes, this is a deal. And then someone else might say, oh, I have some money.
Yep.
I'll invest in that short term. Right.
And it causes the maybe the woman who doesn't have the money, because, to be able to do the deal. But over here, Ms. Jones may have the money, but she doesn't have the time or the desire even to go actually do it. So she loans the money. And again, it creates a win-win. She can earn 10, 12, 15% on her money. Where can you earn that kind of of interest on your money? So again, it's all about creating win-wins for everyone.
Wow.
That we're involved with.
And that's some of the gold, some of the good stuff that you're going to learn in REIN when you join. Now, if you're a dude, I'm sorry, it's not for you.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
Get your wife to do it.
That's right. Send your wives and your moms and your daughters.
Right. This is a girls only club.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Of course, if you are a part of the Flipping by the Numbers family, we're always sharing great stuff in there as well. But we just don't do the in-depth, here's how you do it stuff that she's teaching the women. So anyway, super exciting. I'm having a great time. We are enjoying taking the knowledge that we've used for years, just renovating, construction, that piece, and heading in a new direction with it.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to building some generational wealth and getting into short-term rentals. Our background definitely covers all of the pieces of that. But the specialized knowledge definitely came from being in your mentorship program. So that's super exciting for us. Now, you have something coming up that in February. 2 exciting things are happening. What's happening for you in February?
Well, I am having a summit for the Women's Real Estate Investors Network. This is so all the women all around the nation will come together for a 3-day summit. So we're sharing specialized knowledge and just celebrating one another as well. And as well as my book launch.
Yay!
Yes.
We're super excited for
Oh my
that.
gosh, I am so excited.
So fun. So
Yes.
we'll be talking, of course, on the show more about that as it gets closer, because you'll want to get your hands on this book. So if you're a dude, right, if you're a guy and you can't be a part of REIN, you could still read her book.
Yes, you could. Yes, and so not only is the book, I think it's very inspirational, very, faith-based, but I share my story in the book, but I'm also literally teaching you how to invest, all the little pieces as well as the big pieces of how to invest and all the different strategies. It goes into detail.
Yeah.
So
the only thing you're really missing is the community.
Yes.
Right? And that's just for us girls. That's a girls' community.
yes, it is.
So something that came so just this week, we actually got together locally in the Tampa Bay area and had a lovely meal with just a group, 39 ladies who are part of REEN, got together, had a wonderful meal, had some fellowship, and it struck me, we need to have more local stuff. So put it on your calendar to come back and, and visit the Tampa area and let the women get together.
I definitely will.
Excited.
I'm going to Southern California next. That's my next stop with all of my REEN ladies.
Okay, so do they know that yet? Or is that new knowledge?
I have been throwing it out there. They know I'm coming. They just don't know when.
Just don't know when.
Yes.
Do you know when yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
But we will be planning that hopefully in the next 6 weeks.
That soon. So those of you who are a part of REEN, which of course we're going to make sure that you all have access to this recording so that you can all the fun stuff and cheer us all on. But this is good news to all of you ladies out in California. So I will be surprised, I'm sure, by the number of people who will show up to this.
Yes, I couldn't believe how many showed up here in Tampa. That was quite exciting. I thought it was going to be a few little ladies and just turned into something grand. Fun. Yeah, it was fun and awesome.
So tell us, if you're a woman, not if we're a woman, if one of them are a woman, and they're interested in being a part of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and a part of, which you get into that by being in the Without Fear of Her Future masterclass and course. So talk to us about how you become
so the very first step is you would want to come through the Without Fear of Her Future masterclass. And that is it's through Facebook, and it's $17, and it's 7 days of me teaching about 2.5 to 3 hours every single day, going into detail, the nitty gritty of how you really invest and how you can use other people's money to find to purchase these deals and all of the things, all the legalities and just all the things,
all the pieces,
and so that's where you start. And that if there's even an ounce of interest, then I think that it would be so worth your time. I think it's enjoyable. I'll try to make it as fun as possible. Anyway, 7 days, withoutfearofherfuture.com is where you can go. My next masterclass is September the 19th, I believe. That's on a Sunday. It goes from a Sunday to Sunday. Withoutfearofherfuture.com. That is from Proverbs 31:25, where she laughs without fear of her future. And that's really what I want with this is for us not as women to have security and know that we can laugh without fear of our future because we have planned ahead and we've created a future for ourselves. And so you would come through the masterclass, and then throughout the masterclass, if you really walk away with enough specialized knowledge to go out and do deals. However, if you wanted to be a part of the Women's Real Estate Investors Network and you're looking for a mentorship and some hand-holding and just a deeper dive with the education and then having that network where women are partnering and all of that, then you would learn how you can become a part of that mentorship.
It's really almost a movement.
It really is,
right?
yes.
It's not just women coming together learning something, but a movement of women saying, I'm going to be brave and courageous, but you're always telling us, be brave, step out, be courageous.
Brave women change the world.
Yep.
We impact the world. When we decide to step out of our comfort zone and do hard things and do brave things that we don't even know that we're capable of. It impacts the world, and it changes life for our families and the people around us. And so,
yes, as a matter of fact, this whole journey for you really started with God telling you to be brave.
Exactly. I was teaching a Bible study, and just a little Bible study, and in Joshua, from the book of Joshua. And as I was studying that and teaching that, I was just diving deep into that, and especially Joshua 1:9. But the whole thing is God telling Joshua to take the people over into the promised land, but they were going to have to be brave and courageous, and they couldn't be afraid. They were going to fight giants, and it was not going to be easy over in the promised land. And so I knew that God was telling me to be brave. And so I took a hold of that, and I just almost made this promise to God that every time I had a decision to make, I'm going to do the bravest thing. And so as I started walking that out, then my sons had already been asking me, come do real estate. And I was always like, one of these days I might do that. But now I was like, oh, I've said I'm going to do brave things. So
this would be brave.
That would be brave. I was 50 years old to walk completely away from a 25-year career, my home. We had just built that 4 years prior, all of that. And I walked away to become a real estate investor. And then it was 18 months later that I said, okay, I want women to know how to do this. And so I started the Women's Real Estate Investors Network just in Dallas, Texas, locally. And then when COVID hit, we had to go virtual.
Right. We all shifted.
Mm-hmm. And so I started teaching virtual. And then I had the opportunity to go nationwide and teach women all over the nation. And so every master class we have somewhere between 5. This last one we had 6,000 women.
Wow.
That were in that master class, and they are learning to be brave and to do these things that they can. That's all it takes is if you have a little bit of courage and some specialized knowledge, it rocks your world.
Right?
Yeah. We don't have to be stuck in the situation that we think we're in.
You just have to be brave.
You just have to be brave. That's right. That's
I
right.
have not ever knocked on doors. I'm not that kind of brave.
Well, the beautiful thing is you're still doing it and you've never had to. You don't have to do that.
You don't have to. Yeah.
Yes.
If somebody had said, Clara, you're going to have to go knock on doors, I might not have signed up for that.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Because I'm brave in other ways.
Yes.
Right? I'm really brave on Zoom. I'm really right. If I have an appointment with you, I'm totally brave. But just to call someone or knock on someone's door, I'm not that kind of brave. But we do about 1,000 mailer envelopes a month, just mailing out to people saying, hey, we see that you're in a situation. We would love to help you.
Yes.
Right? We, as a matter of fact, the tagline to our company is Home of the Fresh Start. So we're there to say, we can help you. You're in a situation. If you're interested, call us.
Yes.
Reach out to us. And then those are easy calls, right?
I love it. That's right. They're calling you and saying, hey, how can you help me?
Yeah.
And then you have the specialized knowledge to help them and create that win-win and help them to get their start.
You started by knocking on doors, but you're not doing that now. So tell us what you're doing. What do you do now for marketing?
I also send out mailers. There's something called ringless voicemail. If you've ever looked down at your phone and you have this voicemail, but you didn't hear it ring. Yes. That's called a ringless voicemail. So you can reach out to people in that way, or the same thing with text blasting. That's sending out 100 texts at one time, just to someone that may be in a situation where they need some help getting out of their current situation. And so you just send that out. There's also, you can do Facebook ads or SEO if you're technically savvy. That's not myself. There's just so many different ways to email campaigns. So there's so many different ways to reach out to these people, and then they just respond if they're interested and say, hey, I am interested
in a conversation. Right?
And so then you have the conversation, and if the numbers are right, and if you can create a win-win for them and yourself, then that's what it's all about,
right?
Yeah.
Getting that appointment to get down and sit down or on the phone and talk with somebody to see if there's something you can do to help.
Absolutely.
Because it's really just all about that.
Yes. And the beautiful thing is in a network like we have is I have lots of ladies who they have maybe just a busy life, or they have a career that they love, and so they don't actually want to do all of those things.
Right.
They just fund some of the other women in the network, and so they're getting the huge interest paid back,
right?
But they just carry on with the current life. So it works for pretty much anyone. It doesn't matter what spectrum you're on. Some people have more money than time. Some people have more time than money.
Right.
And we can all be successful in this.
Come together. I want to get to that point in our lives where we can also fund currently we don't fund other people's stuff, but that's on the horizon.
Absolutely.
Right? Once you learn what's possible, then you think differently.
That's exactly right.
It's like, okay, we want to get to that point where, yes, we have our own things going on, but we also want to fund for other people. Right?
Absolutely. And that's really what Without Fear of Her Future is that I am teaching you what is possible through real estate investing. And then you decide, hey, I got to be a part of this thing. I want to do this, or maybe you're like, oh, that's just not my cup of tea.
And that's okay too.
That's exactly
okay
right.
too.
But at least
right, for $17, really, to check it out. And it was fun, right? It was a lot. It was a lot.
It's a lot.
Because 7 days, lots and lots of knowledge. But it's in the evening, so, you can still go to your day job if you work a 9 to 5 and plug in.
And there's recordings. If you miss it, you can get caught up. There's tons of recordings, and if you work in the evening, and you can watch the recordings.
And then you get the community. So you get to whilst you're in the master class, you get the community of people talking about, hey, is this for me? Where do you live? Making connections. Women are great connectors anyway.
Yes.
So it's been super fun to see women naturally, like even just in the master class, form these bonds. I actually have a couple of Facebook friends who they didn't join, right? But we were in the master class together, and we've become Facebook friends where we share each other's stuff, we comment, we've gotten to know each other.
I love it. That's one of the most unique parts of this program, is just that camaraderie. And they call each other sisters. This is Maureen's sister. Sweet. I know it.
So sweet.
I know it. I am so thankful that God led me to that. I thought, I was just going to be brave in some little things. And I had no idea that this is where that was leading, and that it would turn into this movement.
This amazing movement
that you've talked about, and seeing women just truly transform their lives.
Super amazing.
So fun.
Thank you so much for coming and being on the show. I so appreciate your time. I know that our viewers have gotten value from you today.
Well, thank you.
If you are at all interested, make sure that you jump on over to withoutfearofherfuture.com so that you can get signed up for the next masterclass in September. She would love to have you as part of the group. And then if you join the Reen family, I would love to see you in there as well. Before we go, I have to do my little spiel and say, if you are at all interested in getting started outside of what she's doing, we'd love to have you in the Flipping by the Numbers course as well. You can head on over to BeFlippingSavvy.com. If you're already an investor and you're just looking for a little bit more knowledge, we would love to help you out. We're going to talk about do-it-yourself inspecting, so that you can protect yourself. We're going to talk about estimating properly for renovations so you keep more money in your pocket. And we're going to talk about project management and how important project management is for keeping more money in your pocket. So every week Larry says it, so you're going to get tired of hearing it, but we're here to say, if you are not flipping by the numbers, you are leaving money on the table. We would love to see you in both of our classes. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you so much. We will have you on the show again in the future. All right, guys, we will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Thanks so much.